Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Power Plant Engineering. In this lecture we will discuss on wind power plant. Let us start with the basics of wind energy. Wind is moving air and is caused by differences in air pressure within our atmosphere. As the sun strikes the earth, it heats the soil near the surface. In turn, the soil warms the air laying about it. Warm air is less dense than the cool air, and like a hot air balloon, it rises. Cool air flows in to take its place and becomes heated. The rising warm air eventually cools and falls back to the earth, completing the convection cycle. This cycle is repeated over and over again, rotating like a crankshaft in a car as long as solar engine driving in the sky. The atmosphere is a huge solar fired engine that transfers heat from one part of the globe to the another part. The large scale convection currents set in motion by sun rays carry heat from lower latitude to the northern climates. The flow of the air that rushes across the surface of the earth in response to this global circulation are called wind. This wind resource is renewable and inexhaustible as long as sunlight reaches the earth. The direction of the wind is expressed as the direction from which the wind is blowing. For example, easterly winds blow from east to west, while westerly winds blow from west to east. Figure shows how air currents are formed from the moving landmass to water and other ways. During the day, the air above the land heats up more quickly than the air over the water. The warm air over the land expands and rises, and the heavier, cooler air rushes into its place, creating winds. At night, the winds are reversed because the air cools more rapidly over the land than over the water. This wind flow is called a local wind. Let's see the Coriolis force. Wind doesn't follow a straight path from the high pressure system to low pressure system. When you stand with your back to the wind direction, wind is deflected to the right on the northern hemisphere and to the left on the southern hemisphere. This phenomena is caused by the rotation of the earth and is called as Coriolis forces. Due to the earth's rotation, objects deflect to the right in the northern hemisphere. Objects deflect to the left in the southern hemisphere. Let us calculate the power available in the wind. The power that can be captured from the wind with a wind turbine with the effective area A is given by power available in the wind in watts equals to half into air density into swept area into wind velocity, which is equals to half into P into A into V, or it is equals to 1 by 8 P into D into V, where air density P is equals to 1.23 kg per cubic meter at sea level, swept area is in square meter, and wind velocity is in meters per second. The only way to increase the available power in low winds is by sweeping the larger area with the blades. And that's the second key concept from this formula. When the diameter formed by the rotation of the blades doubles, power available in the wind increases by a factor of 4. However, there is no way to harvest all of this available energy, turn it into electricity. In 1919, Betts calculated that there is a limit to how much power a turbine blade can extract from the wind. Beyond the bed's limit of 59.26% energy extraction, more and more air tends to go around the turbine rather than through it, with air pulling up in front. So 59.26% is the absolute maximum that can be extracted from the available power. Very well explained in the figure. There are additional losses after beds. Small wind turbine blades are never 100% efficient, even when running at their favorite speed. No alternator or generator is 100% efficient in converting the energy in a rotating shaft into electricity. There are friction losses from bearings and from any gearing that's involved in the power conversion. There are magnetic drag and electrical resistance losses as well in the electrical generator or alternator.
Let us see the benefits of wind energy. It is a cost competitive with other fuel sources. Wind energy is an indigenous homegrown energy source that helps to diversify national energy portfolio. Wind energy can provide income for farmers and ranchers as well as economic benefits to the communities. Wind energy is an inexhaustible renewable energy source. It is a clean energy source. Wind energy systems have low operating cost as well. It can be used in a variety of applications. Let us see the site selection criteria for wind power plant. Although wind power is never-ending green resource, assessment of environmental risk and impacts, which consist the backbone of environmental policy in the context of specific projects or sites, are necessary to explicit and weigh the environmental trade-offs that are involved. Apart from the constraint resulting from the number of turbines, any site selection should be over the technical, economic, social, environmental, and political aspects. Let's see the technical considerations. Many technical factors affect the decision making on the site selection, including wind speed, land topography and geology, grid structure and distance, as well the size of the turbine. These technical factors must be understood in order to give pairwise scores to the sub-factors. Let's see first wind speed. The viability of the wind power in a given site depends on having sufficient wind speed available at the height at which the turbine is to be installed. Any choice of the wind turbine design must be based on the average wind velocity at the selected wind turbine construction site. Second, land topography and geology. Wind farms are typically need large lands. Topography and prevailing wind conditions determine turbine placement and spacing within a wind farm. In flat areas where there is nothing to interface with the wind flow, at least 2600 to 6000 meters square per megawatt may be required. Wind turbines are usually sited on the farms that have slope smaller than 10 to 20%. Next, grid structure and distance. The connection of the wind turbine to an electricity grid can be potentially affected reliability of the supply and power quality due to unpredictable fluctuations in the wind power output. Turbine size. It required height of for the installation of turbine above the ground is one of the important factors that affect the annual energy generation. Turbine size is related with the energy output because the bigger turbine size, the more wind is to be exposed to. Let's move towards the economic considerations. The economic sub-factors that affect the site selection include capital cost, land cost, operational management cost, etc. It is important to make economic evaluations by considering time value of the money due to the long periods of service of wind farm projects. First, capital cost, construction, electrical connection, grid connection, planning wind turbines, approvals, utilities and management are the main components of the capital cost for wind power plant. Land cost. For the site selection, main economic factor is the cost of the land where the wind farm or windmill is to be constructed, because the cost of the land primarily depends on the region, soil condition, and the distance from the residential area. Operational and management cost. There will be control functions such as supervisory control and data acquisition, which will provide control of each wind turbine in operational and maintenance facilities. Business rates, maintenance expenses, rents, staff payments are main components of operational and management cost. Electricity market. Existing of an electricity market for the energy generated is an important factor affecting the economic benefits of the project. There should be energy demand in the region close to the wind farms. Let's move towards the environmental considerations. The environmental sub-factors that affect site selection of a wind farm include visual impacts, electromagnetic interference, wildlife and endangered species, and noise impact. Visual impacts. Wind turbines are located in windy places, and most of the time those places are highly visible. Too many people, those big towers with 2 or 3 blades create visual pollution. To minimize the impact of visual pollution, many investors implement the actions. Wildlife and endangered species. Wind farm affects birds mainly through the collision with the turbines and associated power lines. Disturbance leading to displacement including barriers to movement and loss of habitat resulting from the wind turbines. To minimize the risk of bird collision, site selection should be done precisely. The next factor is electromagnetic interference. Electromagnetic interference is an electromagnetic disturbance that interrupts, obstructs, or degrades the effective performance of electronic or electrical equipments. Wind turbines may reflect, scatter, or diffract the electromagnetic waves, which in turn interfere with the original signal arriving at the receiver. Noise impact. Noise can generally be classified according to its two main sources, aerodynamic and mechanical. Aerodynamic noise is produced when the turbine blades interact with the eddies caused by atmospheric turbulence. Mechanical noise is generated by the rotor machinery such as gearbox and generator. Noise could be reduced by better designed turbine blades, geometry, and the selection of proper operating conditions. Social considerations. Social factors that affect the selection of the site include public acceptance, distance from the residential area, and alternative land use options of the candidate wind farm site. Public may oppose project because of possible environmental or social effects. Distance from the residential area gain importance not to interfere with the social life during the wind farm constructing or operating conditions. Regulatory boundaries. There may be some national or international level regulations related with the construction and operation of the wind farms. These regulations must be explored before evaluating the the socio-political position of the wind power plant. Most of them probably change from region to region. Next point is public acceptance. Public is the most vital component of a region, and their opposition to issue can lead to abolish proposed project or a planned site. Support of public for wind energy generation is expected to be high in general, but proposed wind farms have often been met with strong local opposition. Land use. Land use affects the decision of the wind farm, sitting from 2 points of view. Firstly, there are some cases where no wind farms can be built although sufficient wind speed was detected. These cases mainly related with the land use or conditions. Land related constraints include forest area, wetlands, land of high productivity, archaeological sites, aviation zones, military zones, etc. Distance from the residential area. Noise and vibration stemming from the wind turbine may cause residents to suffer from sleep disturbance, headache, visual bearing. Those types of complaints can be avoided if the wind turbines are sited or considerable distance from the residential area. The site selection of the wind farm is important because above technical, economic, environmental, and social aspects, and it plays a vital role in the selection of the wind power plant. Let us see the classification of wind turbines. Wind turbines are classified into two general types, horizontal axis and vertical axis. A horizontal axis machine has its blades rotating on an axis parallel to the ground as shown in the figure. A vertical axis machine has its blades rotating on an axis perpendicular to the ground. There are a number of available designs for both, and each type has its certain merits and demerits. However, compared with the horizontal axis type, very few vertical axis machines are available commercially. Let's see first horizontal axis wind turbine. This is the most common wind turbine design. In addition to being parallel to the ground, the axis of the blade rotating is parallel to the wind flow. Some machines are designed to operate in an upwind mode with the blades upwind of the tower. In this case, a tail vane is usually used to keep the blades facing into the wind. Other designs operate in an downwind mode so that the wind passes the tower before striking the blades. Some very large wind turbine uses a motor-driven mechanism that turns the machine in response to a wind direction sensor which is mounted onto the tower. Commonly found horizontal axis windmills are aeroturbine mill with 35% efficiency and farm mills with 15% efficiency. And second is vertical axis turbine. Although vertical axis wind turbines have existed for centuries, they are not as common as their horizontal counterparts. The main reason for this is that they do not take advantage of the higher wind speeds at higher elevations above the ground as well as horizontal axis turbine. It do have its own merits, that is, it is omnidirectional which accepts wind from any angle. Components can be mounted at ground level, therefore ease of service and lighter weight towers. It can be theoretically uses less material to capture the same amount of wind. While talking about the demerits of vertical axis turbine, A rotor generally near ground where wind poorer, which ultimately reduces the efficiency or the output from the windmill or turbine. Centrifugal forces stresses the blades and components. Poor self-starting capabilities. It requires support at the top of the turbine rotor. It requires entire rotor to be removed to replace bearings. Overall poor performance and reliability, or it is a less efficient as compared to horizontal axis turbines, and it never been commercially successful at the large scale.